Right from the beginning of your life, you have always made a plan for yourself. When you are very small, you plan to become big, somebody really very big in life. When you were in school, you said, I want to become a pilot, I want to do this, and I want to do that. When you came in college, also you had a plan. And that plan was to really succeed in life, to go for some competitive examination, or maybe do your B schools, or for that matter, any and everything in life you have had a plan. When you came out of the B school or when you came out of your college, then too you had a plan. Your plan was to succeed in life, in your career. So whatever career that you were wishing to take at that point in time, you always wanted to be the number one. So you started your job or maybe your business or whatever that is, and you found that it was nearly very impossible to actually stick to the plan. What happened over there? When you came to an age when you wanted to get married, you had a very wonderful plan to get married also. And once you got married, you wanted to have children. That was also a plan. Well, you see, the whole life of yours have gone planning. But most of the time you have seen the plan does not succeed. The reason why it doesn't succeed is because your plan was a very, very short term plan. You may say, no, I planned for 10 years, 20 years. Then too, it was a plan which was bound to fail. What exactly happened? When you joined a company, you said that I want to keep aside some amount of money for having maybe build a house or something. But did that house come about? You had to go and take a loan. By the time you're 40 and 50, you are still paying the EMIs. Then your children have grown up. You have to send them to school and then to college and then for further education. Your plan was to gather some amount of money so that you can send them to these places. There again, there was an issue. Maybe you had to take a lot of loans. Maybe you had to remove money from another account. Likewise, when you were well ahead in your years, you wanted to have a retirement plan. The amount of money that you had kept aside for retirement also never came about. This money which you wanted to keep aside was always in short supply. So while planning your life, there were too many slips between the cup and the lip. It was not so well planned. It was not executed also properly. There was always some issue or the other. In this episode, I am going to tell you where that plan went wrong. First and foremost, when you were planning, what was the plan all about? The plan was short term. It was meant for a very, very tiny portion in time. That was only related to your school, your college, your career, your family life, and so on. Did it cover the entire life? It never covered anything. You will find that your plan was actually incomplete. Everybody does that. Nobody has a life plan. Whatever plan that they are thinking about is too short term. So when you were 25, your plan was up to the age of 35 or 40. When you were 35, your plan was up to the age of 50. And when you were 50, your plan was till the age of 60 or maybe 70. Well, let us look at a person who is 25 years old. He may live up till 90 or 100. He has got 65 more years to go or 75 years. Look at the one who is in 40 years of age. That person may live for 100, like I said. That means this person has actually not planned till the end of his life. Nobody has planned. People think that they have a plan, and that plan is only for a short duration of time. Well, you are going to live for a very, very long time. Let us say you have made a plan for retirement by the time you are 50. Your plan expires when you are 70. Then what happens? By the time you are 70, there are so many diseases, there are so many problems associated with the family, properties, and so on and so forth. Where have you taken that into consideration? You thought that you will put up your legs and you will be a happy person. You are thinking that you could have enjoyed your life, but you are not going to enjoy anything. Life is not like that. Life takes you from one end to the other end, and you never have anything to do. Well, the idea is to plan a life which is a very dynamic one. And your plan also has to be dynamic. It has to keep on changing constantly. There are modifications that need to be done on a constant basis. There is a lot of changes that are going to come about in your life as well. Maybe you have a child. The child is no longer with you when you have grown up. They call it emptiness syndrome. Well, it could happen like that. You're not even sure about it. So you got to have a dynamic plan which is always in motion. And it is always evolving. Now, the second most important thing in planning, this is very important and you got to hear it. If I were to ask you a question, do you have anybody amongst your ancestors who is a well-known figure that you can say, I belong to this family? You won't have. If that was the case, then you would be remembering that person instantly. I'm not talking about someone who was remembered just for a few years and then he went away. I'm not talking about your grandfather or your great-grandfather. No, I'm talking about somebody who has left behind a legacy. The word here is legacy. There are people in this world who leave behind a fantastic legacy. They are remembered beyond their grave as well. Look at all the great poets or the writers. Think about all these great kings. Let us look at Confucius. His legacy is carried forward even today. Look at Buddha. His legacy is carried forward. Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. We still remember him. We know what he was. William Shakespeare, or for that matter, any of those great writers and authors who penned some beautiful poems. There are those who wrote scriptures as well. Ved Vyas, for that matter. Don't we remember him? This is what I'm talking about. You have to create a plan which is way beyond your grave. A plan where you are going to leave a legacy behind, not a property. I'm not talking about property over here. I'm not talking about money also. I'm talking about that name which you will be known by. So even after you die, your name has to be written in golden letters. And that is exactly what planning is all about. So when you plan, don't plan just because you want to for a few months or a year. Don't go at the beginning of the year and say, yes, I want to have a plan for the coming year. Don't say that. Say, this is my lifetime plan. I want to plan this in a very beautiful manner. And remember, this plan is dynamic. It's not a one-time issue. You have to keep on changing. You have to keep on changing and altering it to the needs of the hour. And that is how a plan has to be created. And then there's a question of the legacy. Don't forget that. You need people to come to your place and pay their respects to you. That is exactly what you should be doing, and not some other plan which you think you are doing. So, take a paper and a pen and write it down. Now, let me tell you something about myself. Now that you have heard the story of writing a plan, there are many such things I have been teaching my disciples for the last 23 years. My name is Krishnaji, and my disciples have been coming to me for many years. I have given them this knowledge. I have told them what they are supposed to do, how they are supposed to go about doing it. I personally did not want my name to be put out over there amongst others. And that is the only reason why I never exposed myself. I just wanted to remain incognito. But my Gurudev did not want me to do that. Somewhere in 2018, he told me that I have to now start teaching others. And then I started taking in a few more disciples. Today, I teach quite a lot of people across the internet. Now, this is a teaching where not only am I going to teach you about planning, but there are a whole load of other things. Now, if you subscribe to this channel, you will get to hear a lot of those other things which I am talking about. And of course, along with it, you can learn it as well. That is a separate issue. Let me stop over here now. Kindly subscribe to this channel and like this particular video. Thank you.